But is this Broncos team for real? That's the big question. I don't think we find out until the next couple of weeks. If this Broncos team beats Baltimore and then we go play Pittsburgh and then, you beat the Raiders and then you lose to the Browns. If you're 6-1 at that point, I think that's when you point that they're real. I think the first 6 games is really telling just because, okay, you're coming into a cupcake schedule. You really are. Now you're going to be playing some difficult teams. But I looked this up because there was a guy that I watched on Pro Football Focus, something like that on NBC, and they were talking about the 99 Rams. The Rams, all intents and purposes, played a very cupcake schedule. They played basically the highest win that they beat was 8 wins. Most of the teams they played went 8-8. They had a few teams that had 4 wins. And all the teams that they beat lost to were over 500, I believe. Which doesn't bode well for the Broncos and me saying that. But what I'm saying is, look, I understand everybody's play. Look, you played 3 cupcake teams. Well, it's the NFL. It's the NFL. The thing is, this team has not experienced winning. I think this is the first 3-game winning streak since 2018. I believe so. Because even with, the great stuff that supposedly Drew Lock was supposed to do, and he did in the first season that he started, there was no 3-game win streak. They won 4 out of 5. There was no 3-game win streak. So I think this team can potentially be for real. If we're seeing in the next few weeks that they are, 6-1, maybe even 7-0, because I think the one that's going to be tough to win, even if you are going undefeated and you're winning a lot of games, is going to be that Browns game on Thursday night. But I think this week is a very winnable game. I think next week is definitely a winnable game. And I think you could beat the Raiders because they don't play very good defense. And they haven't played a defense this good. So I'm not saying that the Raiders aren't good, but it's like, okay, who have you played on defense? You know what I mean? They've kept themselves in the game because they play good defense. So I'd prefer a cupcake schedule where it's like, okay, well, you're supposed to win. Whereas it's like, okay, your defense has done nothing for you, and you're winning the games purely off of offense, and you haven't played a good defense yet. If people are going to tell me Miami's a good defense, no. If you're going to tell me the Ravens are a good defense, no. Like, they looked good last week, but they were playing the Lions. You know what I mean? So, I mean, they're not giving up a ton of points to the Lions, but you gave up a ton against Kansas City. You gave up a ton against the Raiders. But the Broncos, why this team could potentially be for real is because they're putting up points pretty close to what, not the same, but pretty close to what these other teams have been doing. But the defense is holding them to their average. So if we're averaging over 25 points, let's say, or 24 is probably the magic number, and you're holding teams under 10 points or 5 points, you're in the game. You're not going to lose by much if you do lose. But then if you win, it's like, well, the defense played well. Kansas City is actually at the bottom of the AFC West as of this. But as of right now, I think in the next few weeks, we'll find out if this team's for real. Right now, no, not yet. But if this team's confident and they win these games, yeah, you could definitely say that. And Teddy Bridgewater, I believe, if they're 6-1 or 7-0, is going to be an MVP discussion. Look, the man is so accurate, as the highest percentage out of anybody in the NFL throwing this season, even with Dak Prescott throwing 80% in the first 2 games. Look, people are eating all that stuff up because he's got the headlines. Same with Matt Stafford. I'm happy for Matt Stafford, but Teddy Bridgewater may surprise people. And I think I got a comment today that was saying, he hasn't had a team this good, Teddy Bridgewater. No, I don't think he's had this good of receivers in the NFL, except when he was in New Orleans, or he had some good receivers in Minnesota. People write off last year as he was just terrible. He was going to be bad. No, man, he played for a not very good team. He's playing with a team that's ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, even with the injuries the Broncos have had, they're ready to go. So, I mean, we'll see. Next couple of weeks should be good.